Ho 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 and welcome to day 3 of the 12 days of Christmas, and we're staying in the UK for this one, and we'll probably end up staying in the UK for the next few beers, to be honest. And yeah, today we're going over to the ever reliable Wychwood Brewery, and we are looking at a bottle of their Bar Humbug, 5% ABV, Christmas cheer, and yeah, Bar Humbug Christmas beer, brewed with the choicest malts and hops. Lightly spiced with cinnamon, this is a rich beer complemented with subtle tones of dried fruits. To those who say that the spirit of Christmas is a thing of the past, we say Bar Humbug. Don't be a misery. That's me stuff. Go on, enjoy yourself. Thank you, Jeff Drew, head brewer, for that. Fantastic artwork as per usual. Of course, you've got Scrooge, or a goblin-y type Scrooge there. And this is one that I've had a couple of times over the years. I think they've got this and a one with reindeer on it. You know, the most famous reindeer of all time, Rudolph, which I think they've released both of them. So hopefully I'll be able to pick that one up as well. But yeah, not exactly too sure what sort of ale this is. Whether it's just like the basic Hobgoblin recipe and then they've just tweaked it with some spices and seasonal cheer. Lovely colour scheme on the bottle. Nice net label on the neck, and there of course is the iconic Wychwood crown. So without any further ado, let's get this opened and see what we get. So yesterday's beer wasn't too inspiring, it has to be said. And our first beer that we had was just a little bit too safe and not really festive. But yeah, so this beer, best before date, is the 30th of September 2018. So quite the shelf life on it. And beer in the glass then, and that is a lovely sort of rusty copper colour. Nice clarity to it. There are subtle ruby hues. It is pretty festive, nice and dark, but not too dark, not too opaque. Beer poured with about 1 finger's worth of a tan coloured head. The bottle's very festive. The beer itself looks a little bit festive. Need to fix the lighting. Yeah, anyway, so certainly looks good. Let's see what we get on the aroma. I get a sweetness, like a slight vanilla aroma coming out of this one. It's got that slight caramelised nut to it. Slight woodiness, almost like a very subtle bourbon barrel. That vanilla character mixing with that woodiness gives that impression. Very slightly though. No real spiciness coming out of this on the nose. It is more like a vanilla biscuit than anything else. Lovely, chewy, roasty malt. I mean, it's chestnut in colour pretty much, and you do get that sort of like meaty, nutty sort of vibe. It's really nice and subtle on the nose. To me it smells a little bit more autumnal than winter or Christmassy. But all puns considered, the proof is in the pudding. So, cheers. It's an improvement from yesterday, but the biggest flaw that this beer has, unfortunately, is the body's too weak. It's almost got like this sort of, if you've had like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, other brands are available, and you've watered it down a little bit. It's got that like syrupy cola sort of flavour, but the flavours are just not carried at all with that body. In fact, you get that instant hit of flavour, and then it just subsides to like an earthy, hoppy bitterness with like maybe a subtle spicy tone on the back end. Definitely get a vanilla in there. You do get a little bit of cinnamon and a slight pinching of like nutmeg, those are traditional Christmas spices and seasonings. But yeah, then it just turns into like a slightly undercarbonated cola, which is a real shame because I don't remember it tasting like this the previous years. You know, I was expecting a bit more nutty, chewy sort of characters. A little bit more of like a slightly spiced biscuit or cake flavour. But there's really, well and truly, and I can only be honest, there's really not much going on with this beer. It's perfectly drinkable, it's inoffensive, but there's just no oomph or character to it. And the thing that kills it for me is that body. It's just too light. Get more of that cinnamon. Sort of like the after effect when you've had cinnamon on your tongue. It doesn't numb the tongue, but it claws at it. You know when you've like slightly put too much clove or like ginger or cinnamon in something, and you don't necessarily taste it, but you get that sensation on your tongue after you've had it. That's where I'd say the cinnamon comes in. Yeah, I don't know, it's pretty plain, to be honest. So yeah, we're 3 days into this 12 Days of Christmas, and it's not going too well. I'm trying to think of positives for this beer. Not that there's like massive negatives with it. It's not awful. Not like you can't drink it. It's just, you could just swig it down and just not be moved at all until you're 5 pints in, when you literally can't move. So I suppose that kind of works for the beer. If you were to chill it down, so it's just a flavourless, slightly... I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. This is at room temperature, so there's no excuses for flavours not to be there. It's just there aren't those flavours in the beer. And if you were to just drink this ice cold, it'd just be like a very basic, slightly undercarbonated ale. So you might as well go for your lagers and your pilsners and your Helles beers and stuff like that. That's a real shame. That has to be the weakest Wychwood beer that I've had since I tried Black Witch. But the thing with Black Witch was, when I drank that beer initially, I was no fan of porters. Obviously I will be revisiting that one, but yeah, I'm really quite disappointed with this. Don't get me wrong, if you had a few of them, it'll get you through the evening, whatever. But if you wanted something that's going to get you in that Christmassy mood, and it's going to be full of flavour and festive cheer and spice and mulled wine and indulgence and just satisfaction, you might want to give this one a miss. I say that, give it a try for yourself. You might have a completely different opinion on it, but for me, I'm really not too impressed. So in terms of a rating then, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. It's just plain Jane for me. And sometimes plain Jane's okay, because plain Janes can blossom into... I can't think of names. Yeah, I'm clearly not funny, so I don't know why I try to be in these reviews, but oh well. If you're having your Christmas dinner and you just wanted a beer to enjoy that's got that slight spiciness to it, then this is going to complement that perfectly, okay? It's a perfectly acceptable beer to accompany like a Christmas dinner. I would not really want to buy like 2 or 3 bottles of this, because it just for that price I could get 2 or 3 bottles of beer that I know are going to be much more flavoursome and exciting. So yeah, that's it really. Quite disappointed. Off to a great start with this 12 Days of Clueless. Hopefully there will be some beers down the line that will perk me up a bit and get me into a much more Christmassy mood. But unfortunately this was not one of those beers. So if you've tried it, am I completely missed the point? Did you love this beer? If so, perfectly fine. Everyone's palate's different, that's what I love about this hobby. You're a fan of Wychwood? Give me your favourite Wychwood beers, give me your favourite Christmas beers, recommendations, suggestions, always appreciated for next year. And yeah, check out Wychwood, check out my Wychwood playlist. If any of my friends have reviewed this one, then their reviews will be included down below. Check out the Christmas playlist for the previous 2 episodes. And whatever style this beer is supposed to be, I will put that style playlist down there as well. I have been spurred from offing myself today, but we'll see what tomorrow's beer shall bring. Maybe a completely different story, maybe it'll turn this mess of a series round, and maybe, just maybe, I will find and appreciate the true spirit of Christmas. Probably not, but hopefully you'll join me next time to find out. See you guys later.